Hello, this is Mrs. Michelle Kirkman. I am the AP English Language and Composition teacher, and you are receiving this video in your email to watch because you have been accepted into the AP English Language and Composition class. This video is put together to provide you with the keys to success for the class, as well as to help you decide if this is the right class for you or not. Here there are 5 things that I'm going to go through in just a moment, but I want to talk about first this idea of taking the AP test. It is a requirement for any AP class, and if you decide to stay in the class, you will be required in May of 2017 to take the AP test. Now, if you do pass the AP test, you will get college credit. For English, you will get college credit for English 101 if you get a 3 or higher. And if you pass both AP English classes, you will get another benefit as well, which will be discussed in class later. So I'm going to start talking about the 5 different aspects here: technology expectations, textbooks, supplies, summer reading, and summer school. Okay, the first thing is this idea of technology expectations. When I handed out the packets in May, I told everybody that this was a very huge expectation of this class. I am very much a lover of technology and very much believe that students learn better when they get to integrate their usage of technology. So throughout the year, I will be using a variety of methods. Some of which aren't listed here because I'm still making decisions on things. The first thing is this idea of a flipped classroom. Flipped means that most lectures happen at home versus in the classroom. This means you will go home, you will watch a video 3 to 5 times a week. Each video is about 10 to 15 minutes in length. You will take notes, you'll have assignments revolving around it. And then the next day when you come into class, we will do things in class related to the information from that video. We will not re-lecture on that video. I will answer questions, and I will go more in depth. It provides for more analysis, more detailed conversations versus the lectures that would normally take 40 to 50 minutes. And this will happen, like I said, 3 to 5 times a week. If you have a problem watching videos 3 to 5 times a week, that is something to consider with relation to this class. The next aspect is this idea of classcraft. Many of you have heard about the game I play with my students. This will be introduced the first week of classes, so being aware of that is important. Forums is this idea that you will be writing weekly written assignments that will be done on Classcraft. They will be part of your grade, and it's basically writing 2 short essays every week on top of what we do in class. There will also be daily online homework, which go with the flipped classroom videos. Sometimes it's writing sentences, sometimes it's essays, sometimes a quiz, a take-home test, sometimes a worksheet, reading, but it will be there. We will still be using Turnitin.com, which is something you're already used to from previous years, and you will continue to use it this year in many of your classes. The gradebook system is changing this year. It is not Jupyter anymore, but as school starts and we start getting out more information about it, I will provide you with help and assistance on getting into the new program. Edmodo is what we call an educational version of Facebook. It is specifically designed for teachers and for students as a way for them to pair together to share information. So this will be the main aspect of our class website, where I will share documents with you, I'll share videos with you. You can ask me questions, you can ask each other in the class questions, but we will talk more about that as school starts. And there is this possibility that we will be doing something with Google Classroom, but that has not been finalized yet. But you will be using Google Drive and Google Docs throughout the year, so having a Google email address is very important. Okay, textbooks. You will need these in class, first of all, by Thursday, August 4th. We will actually start using both of them on that day, so it's important that you have them. The first one you will need is The Language of Composition. This book is only used for the AP class. So if there is the possibility that you're not going to stay in the AP class, or don't want to take the AP class, or don't want to risk the idea of getting dropped from the AP class to buy a second book, keep that in mind, because they are 2 completely separate books and 2 completely separate curriculum. ISBN numbers are listed here below. For Wordly Wise, make sure it's book 11 that's yellow and that it's the 3rd edition. It's important that you also note that the book has to be blank, as in no one could have previously done pages in it. I don't want answers, I don't want notes, I don't want any of that thing in it, and I will be checking books the first time we use them. Okay. Supplies. I am picky about supplies. As previous students can tell you, this is probably the area that I have my most pet peeves in and the areas that bother me the most, but it's with the idea of helping you to be more organized. Okay, and that's important. You need to stay organized within this class, within any of your classes, and it will help you be more successful, as well as more professional. Okay, so the first thing is pens, black and blue. You can use other colored ink pens for notes, but anytime you turn in something to me, it must be in black or blue ink, and that is all I will accept. If you want to run the risk of me taking points off of your assignment because you decided to do it in green or purple or pink, then go ahead, turn in that way, because trust me, you will get less points. Pencils will only be used for Scantrons and grammar assignments. You can take notes in pencil if you'd like, but you cannot turn in assignments in pencil outside of grammar and Scantrons. Highlighters, I suggest at least 2 to 3 colors. We will be doing several different assignments throughout the year that require different things with highlighters, plus I will have you highlighting in your novels, your textbooks, your notes, and stuff like that. Whiteout is optional. If you're going to use whiteout, though, I prefer the pen roll type because it quick dries. You can write over it right away. You don't have to spend time fanning your paper or blowing on it to get it to dry, and it's neater. If you haven't figured out yet, I am all about neat and organized. You'll learn that within my classroom as well once school starts. You cannot use whiteout on the AP test, so just learning how to cross it out neatly to begin with is also a good way to go. As far as binders and notebooks go, I don't care which one you use. I don't have a preference as long as you're organized. If you want to put your math notes in with your English notes, I don't care as long as, again, you were organized and can find everything. The important part here is this idea of having lots and lots of paper. My students normally go through 1 notebook a semester. So if you're going to buy a notebook, I suggest you buy 2, and that's not the 70-page single subject one. Those are good size notebooks. Between all the classwork, the homework, the notes and stuff, it's important. If you're going to buy separate paper and do a binder, I suggest about 200 to 300 pieces of paper for the year. Okay, on top of the binder notebook, we will also have a 1-inch binder with dividers that will stay in the class. This will serve as your portfolio and also where you keep sample multiple choice tests and sample AP essays that we will write throughout the year and be charting your progress and looking at throughout the year. You will also need 3x5 note cards, at least 2 packs of 100. These will be used for flashcards for vocabulary and also for literary devices, which you are required to do. So it is important that you have them. If you want to pick up a 3rd or 4th pack to begin with, go ahead, because they're going to get used probably, and then you don't have to go out later in the year to buy more. The last thing with supplies here, again, is going back to this idea of technology, is having computer access and having a Google email address. So just showing that importance there. Okay, summer reading. Every single junior was assigned the same 2 summer reading books. We have Night by Elie Wiesel. This is a Jewish Holocaust survival memoir from a boy who in his teen years experienced a concentration camp. Elie Wiesel actually passed away in the last couple of weeks. Very prominent speaker within the Jewish community and very well versed and liked for his literature. So that's the first one. This is nonfiction. The second one, A Thousand Splendid Suns, by the same author that wrote you Kite Runner, which most of you read at the end of your sophomore year. But the main difference here is that this is not a sequel or a prequel or of any relation to Kite Runner, except for the fact that it still takes place in Afghanistan. It is female protagonists, so you get a different aspect of the story that way of Afghanistan. You were just reading the books. There are no projects on them, but there will be stuff which I will explain in a couple of slides with relation to how it will be handled the first week of classes. Because you are in the AP class, you have a book added. So not only do you have Night and Thousand Splendid Suns, but now you also have The Things They Carried. The Things They Carried is a fiction novel that reads very much kind of like it's nonfiction, but it's about Vietnam War and very drastically different from the others. It's a bunch of short stories woven into one big story, but this is required for the class. Okay. The next aspect is on the list that was given, that was emailed out to all of the students, and that is available online for the summer reading. It gave a list of the two books, Night and Thousand Splendid Suns, for everybody. Then it said Things They Carried for AP only, and then it gave a list of recommended novels. Now, these recommended novels are recommended. They're not going to be tested, obviously, except for The Things They Carried. But the other four, it's recommended that you read novels of this caliber and this style. They're interesting, they're fun, and they're going to show up on the AP tests. So if you start reading things like this in advance, it'll help you in preparation for that. Okay, summer classes. Classes will start on Monday, August 1st. If this is a problem for you or you are at camp, it needs to be approved by Miss Model. But let me tell you in advance that the first week, 2 weeks of school, which technically is the summer sessions, I cover 3 novels and 1 chapter from the book. So it is difficult to keep up if you miss part of that time, and keeping up or catching up while trying to keep up with the pace that I keep is difficult. So each week I will pretty much tell you what to expect and what's going on within the week so that you know. So right now, with this intention of the summer reading schedule and how it's going to play out in class the first week, is on Monday, August 1st, when you come into class, you will sit down, you'll pull out a pen, black or blue ink, and you will immediately take a reading quiz on all 3 novels. Each novel will be 10 points of the overall 30 points, and then we will start into the syllabus and the book discussion. We will not discuss the books before the reading quiz. So it is important that you check your notes, you check to see how you did on the books, whatever you need to do to pass this quiz, because this is your first grade for my class. On Tuesday, we will finish the book discussion for the entire hour. We will spend finishing up the idea of all 3 novels and how they tie together, and in preparation for the test. The test is Wednesday. It will take place the entire period probably. It is 60 points and probably will take the entire 60 minutes. And then on Tuesday, we will start into the textbook and Wordly Wise. So now I want to wish you this idea of good luck, because you have a huge decision you need to make. Do I want to take AP Language? Do I want to take 3 AP classes? Do I want to take 2? Do I want to take 1? A lot of it depends obviously on what you got into. If you appealed to classes or anything like that, that will play into your decisions as well. But it is important that you make the right decision for you. And most of these decisions need to be made rather quickly. So if this is something that you would not be interested in, or something that is too cumbersome for you, then you need to let myself and Miss Model know as soon as possible, so that technology requirements for my class can be set up properly, but also so you can be placed into the right class at the beginning of the school year. I look forward to working with you throughout the school year, and just note this is not the only time you will see or hear from me during the last couple weeks of summer. I will be sending you a bunch of technology stuff to get set up for class websites. Thank you and good luck, and enjoy your summer reading books.